yeah, like I said, this is going to be a very, very controversial Texans underground. Hey, so right now, I want everybody that is on the page that are watching at home, hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's free. Support the young brother trying to make it on YouTube to give you guys the best content, the best Texans content, the best NFL talk. We talk about the stat side, we talk about the film side, we talk about the fan side, we talk about stuff that other people really don't talk about. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe. So we're gonna get right into it. It's the third day of free agency. And as a loyal Texans fan, I am not happy at all with Nick Caserio's choices and the things that he's doing right now. As a football guy, I understand what he's doing. I understand that the people say, don't spend all your money, don't do this, don't do that. I get it. Then you have these talking heads, these people that's on the radio that sit here and they want to insult the fans' intelligence like we don't understand what's going on. This is why it's controversial. This is why we're here today. This is new media. This coming from a Texan fan that loves this team and wants to see this team win. Your way is not always the right way. Your way of thinking does not mean that it's the end all be all. So to be sitting here and attacking fans because you have a gig on the radio or because you got 30,000 likes and 2 million subscribers because you're a radio guy and you do this for your own whatever, does not mean that we have fans out here that are highly educated with what goes on in football circles. Just because you get to talk to the team does not mean that fans don't know what we're talking about, that we don't understand what is going on. So for y'all talking heads that like to sit up here and insult fans and say, oh, it can't be, this is not Madden, or you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, what you want them to do? You want them to go out there and pay Lamar Jackson. You want them to pick 3 first-round picks. Man, stop. That is not what we're asking. What we're asking is we want Nick Caserio to go out there and try to get good talent. Get good talent. We don't care. We understand that you're going to have to overpay. But go get them. We had 3 to 4 centers that were on the market. It's from what I heard from you talking heads. Nick Caserio didn't even call but 2 of them. And yeah, they stayed where they was at. They stayed at their current teams. But if you sitting up there offering these dudes 2-year deals, what could you expect? What are we expecting? You're gonna have to pay. So we're gonna sit up here and say that the Drew Brees didn't work when New Orleans went out there and overpaid for Drew Brees coming off of shoulder surgery? Are we gonna go out and say that the Dallas Cowboys, when they overpaid for Deion Sanders, that didn't work? Are we gonna sit up here and say, oh, well, overpaying for Jerry Rice when the Raiders, at the Oakland Raiders at the time, went and paid for Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice led the team to a Super Bowl? So we're going to talk about how they overpaid? I can keep going. So we're going to talk about how Peyton Manning went to Denver and how they overpaid for Peyton Manning, and he took the team to 2 Super Bowls? We're going to sit here and talk about how the Jacksonville Jaguars overpaid for 2 receivers, or a receiver and a tight end, And everybody questioned it, including me, saying, "Why is Jacksonville doing that? That's crazy to be paying this receiver that's not even a top 15 type receiver." And we're gonna sit here and question it and say that it didn't work. It brought Jacksonville to a playoff run, and it got them to the playoffs. We're gonna sit here and keep making excuses for Nick Caserio every single year. But when Rick Smith had one bad draft, everybody was hooping and hollering. When Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins, everybody hooping and hollering. So where's the hooping and hollering for people for the guys like Winovich? What is Winovich? Let's talk about him. Let's talk about him. A defensive end that got drafted probably too high because he was playing with good talent on a defensive line, and he was left blocked one-on-one against and they put him in positions to go up against the worst offensive lineman on the other team, and he so happened to win. And he won a couple of matches against not so great offensive linemen, and let's just be real. They had, 2, 3 defensive linemen on that Michigan team that's been drafted so far in the top 3 rounds that played alongside of him. Oh, so now, well, what about Beck, the tight end? Oh, so we're back to going out and paying for a tight end that maybe can block, that can maybe catch the ball. We got 3 of those on the roster already. So we're back. We're doing the same process that we've been doing the last 2 or 3 years. Hey, bring camp bodies in. Yes. Did I like the Robert Woods signing? Yes. But the Robert Woods signing didn't stop me from going saying that, hey, we still need receivers. Yeah, the Noah Brown. Does Noah Brown change anything in the receiver group? No. He's a 4th receiver. He's a receiver that should come when another receiver needs rest. The best thing Noah Brown does is blocking. He's not a good catch after receiver guy. He's not a guy that's going to bounce off of tackles and make people miss. Noah Brown cost Dallas Cowboys a few games. You go ask a Cowboy fan right now, they probably sitting up there happy that Noah Brown. They elated that the Houston Texans went and paid Noah Brown. Why? Because he blew a couple of games when Dak Prescott threw the ball straight in between his numbers and he dropped the ball. I remember one Monday night game where Dak Prescott threw the ball straight to his hands, and the ball bounced off of him and was an interception. Oh, but we're not going to talk about that, right? We just going to say, Nick Caserio is not overpaying for guys. And man, look here. This is getting ridiculous. And that's what we hear today. That's why we are up here talking today. We, as Texas fans, have had enough. It's time for us. We got screwed over with the Andre Johnson not getting to the Pro Bowl. Getting into the Hall of Fame. We got screwed over by Bill O'Brien. We got screwed over by him trading away DeAndre Hopkins. We got screwed over by giving away J.J. Watt for free. We get screwed over constantly as Texans fans, and we just let the stuff ride. It's no more riding. There's no more riding. We need to stand up and show that we do not support this. Yes, do we love DeMeco Ryans? Do we love the the NFL, the ESPN, the hot analysts, the talking heads? Did they love it just like the fans did? Yes. I have been screaming for DeMeco since the time that we fired David Culley. But when are we going to start looking at Nick Caserio and the stuff that he's done? Who hired David Culley? Who thought that David Culley was going to be a good coach? You had chances to go get Eric Bieniemy. You had a chance to go get a Frank Reich. You had chances to go get a coach that could have been establishing himself way back then. And then we could have been going into the third year and possibly getting our quarterback this year and possibly being a team that's being led in the right direction. But no, we got to sit here and wait and wait and wait. Why? Because Nick Caserio don't believe in signing people for longer than 2-year deals. Why? Because he don't feel like, oh, well, it's the New England way. You don't pay free agent players. You build through the draft. The last time I checked, the best players that are young free agents, you go get them and you let them be the cornerstones of your team, and you start building off of that. Good players attract other good players. Andre Johnson, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson, Dan Marino, Steve Youngs, Troy Aikmans, DeAndre Smith. These guys attract great players to come to their organization and play for them. These are leaders. These are men that you want to follow and that you want to play for. Oh, so we got to sit up here and find excuses on why it's so good to get Jimmy Ward. Right? Yes. Was Jimmy Ward a good signing? Yeah. Could he teach Jalen Petrie something? Yeah. But how about instead of paying Winovich and paying that tight end that doesn't matter, and Mike Boone, a running back that's not going to make the 53-man roster, how about you save that money and you went out there and got a linebacker like Al Shazier that the Titans paid just a little bit over $12 million a year for? I'm pretty sure he would have loved to come play for DeMeco, but you ain't talked to him probably. More than likely you didn't talk to him. He got a 3-year deal. All you had to do was give the man a 3-year deal. Give him some stability. These players, these men are going out here laying their bodies on the line. They don't want to come down here to an organization that's rebuilding and put their bodies on the line to sit up here for 2 years and say, oh, well, hopefully I have a good season here with a rookie quarterback, an offensive line that is still in the works, and a defensive line that can't tackle. A defensive line that needs to be fixed. A defensive line that needed to be fixed ever since we changed from a 3-4 to a 4-3. We're still fixing the same mistakes that we've been doing. This is the same thing that I've been saying since 2011, when we set up there and kept Kareem Jackson, and we kept I forgot the other safety that we kept. Instead of keeping Glover Quinn, we kept Kareem Jackson, and we saw how that worked. And then we had to make this big deal. We had to find a safety, so we went out there and signed Ed Reed after he was being past his prime, and Ed Reed was already considered being talking about retiring. We've been dealing with this since 2009, 8. The last time that we was able to go out there and get top-notch free agents was Daniel Manning and Jonathan Joseph. Ever since then, we've been constantly going for these lower tier, shopping at the bottom, like the boy Cody Stoops say. We're not shopping at the top. We're not going to Deion Sanders' Louis Vuitton store. We're not going to Neiman Marcus. We're going over there to Ross. We're going to Burlington. We're going to Wieners if you're older than if you were born in the 80s. You're going to Phallus Paralis to go get these guys like Mike Boone. He's a Phallus Paralis. He's not a runner. Mike Boone is not starting or getting any kind of considerable playing time in any organization. He couldn't get none in Denver. And and Melvin Gordon ain't been a good running back since he left Wisconsin. But yet, we're going to sit up here and praise Nick Caserio like he's doing some amazing stuff. Shaq Mason, a good trade. You should have did that last year. Instead of going inside A.J. Cann, a guy that was struggling to pass block in Jacksonville. And you sat there and saw him for 2 games where your underpaid, underrated defensive tackles that were drafted that people felt like that you shouldn't even be drafted in the 4th, 5th round. You went and got a Roy Lopez anyway, and he dogged A.J. Cann the first 2 games when we played Jacksonville 2 years ago, a year ago. And then you go out there and you say, oh yeah, he's gonna be good because why? The Jacksonville offensive line coach came over here. Another Nick Caserio decision. Lovie Smith was here. Lovie Smith was brought here. And I won't say Lovie Smith was brought here to fail, but Lovie Smith, because Nick Caserio botched, he did the head coaching search so horrible that he had to sign a black guy because of the Brian Flores. You sit there and you probably sit up there and promised him that, yeah, you gonna get a job, we gonna get you, don't worry about it, just wait. And all the while he figured out, oh yeah, you really want Josh McCown, a guy that ain't never coached a day in his life, a guy that ain't never coached any kind of football, not even high school. And then when you sit up there and everybody figured the shit out, when everybody figured it out, you went and you try to substitute and say, oh no, we ain't want Josh McCown. We all knew you wanted him. We knew you wanted him. We knew Lovie Smith wasn't going for it. If David Culley would have still been here, Josh McCown would have been your offensive coordinator, and you would have had Josh McCown already in the building. We are Texans. That's what y'all put on all your shirts. That's what you put. You know what a Texan is? Somebody that was born and raised here. That's a Texan. Somebody that loves the state. That's a Texan. And to sit up here and call yourself the Texans to represent the state of Texas, a football country, not a football state. Have you done your research? Have you done your research, Nick Caserio? Have you done it? Because the last time I checked, half the league comes from the state of Texas. The last time I checked, half the good quarterbacks in the NFL came from the state of Texas. The Kyler Murrays, the Drew Breeses, the Nick Foles, the Patrick Mahomes, the Vince Youngs, the Colt McCoy, the guy that's been sitting here collecting checks as a backup around the damn country. Chase Daniels, Case Keenum, who you just brought back. Jalen Hurts. All these guys are from the state of Texas. And what you do? What you doing? What you doing, Nick? Are you paying attention to the league, or you just want to follow what you did in New England? Because I feel like right now, the stuff that you gave us, the stuff that you talked about when you fired Lovie Smith, now, it didn't all change now. You feel like the fans got your back because you hired DeMeco Ryan. Well, I'm here to be the one to stand up for it and say, we do not care if you sign DeMeco Ryans. You are on the hot seat, and if this team wins no more than 6 games, you have to go. It's time for you to go. Just like you said when you got hired here. I don't, I want to leave the place better than how I left. You ain't left it better than how it is since you got here because it's still the same. We still don't got no quarterback. We still don't have no credible offensive line. Laremy Tunsil is sitting up here running you ragged because you don't know how to sit up here and organize and decent and order a guy that don't even have a doggone agent. You can't sit up here and talk to this man about paying this man the right way, and he's one of the top 3 tackles in the game. You can't even satisfy him. Oh, but you can come out here and satisfy the Christian Kirksey's. Oh, you can satisfy the Eric Murrays. Boy, you can satisfy the Deshaun Watsons. Yeah, Deshaun, just go over there and sit down. We're going to pay you. Just go sit down. Just go over there. Go over there. And now all of it's backfiring. You lost a 5th round pick, something that you could have used in the trade to trade back up in the first round or the 2nd round. You lost it. You know why? Because y'all don't think. And I don't care. Y'all gonna say, oh man, that was before Nick Caserio got here. Hey, well guess what? Nick Caserio and his little friend Jack Easter Bunny, they're all in cahoots, Texan fans. I need y'all to finally open up your eyes, man. This whole New England way, this, New England that, is still running around in the building. Until Nick Caserio go, the New England stuff is not gonna be gone. Nick Caserio has been proven that this is not. Look, people, when you're building, I've talked about team building. When you're building a team, the main thing you want to do is bring people in here that you can feel can be cornerstone leaders and big-time players. Everybody's looking at your side eye because you drafted Derek Stingley instead of Sauce Gardner. A lot of fans wanted Sauce. I didn't care which one you got. I felt Stingley was going to be a good player. I like his pedigree. I felt Stingley could play. I thought Stingley could play a little bit better in the cover 2. I thought Sauce Gardner was more of a cover 3, off-man type of guy. And now we have the system where Sauce Gardner could flourish, and hopefully this system will let Stingley flourish. But Stingley is more of a press man, and from what I've seen, D'Amico likes to play a lot of off coverage, off man, off zone, all that. So now how you gonna look? Your first pick, when you first got here, what was you thinking about? Tell me, what was your process of Davis Mills? What did you see in Davis Mills that said, hey, let's draft him in the 3rd round? Why you couldn't see what Brock Purdy had? I'm not saying anybody, none of us knew nothing about Brock Purdy. Not even fans. I'm pretty sure somebody from Iowa State felt like that, hey, y'all sleeping on this dude. Dude is a pretty good player. Hey, you get paid to be up here. That's what the talking heads say. That fans don't know nothing. These guys get paid to talk to do this. So if you getting paid and you have all these resources and you have all these scouts and people that's going out here to these different places that you sending them to, what are you doing? Are you not listening to them? Or you just want to build a team your way? Because that's what I think it is. I think you want to build a team your way. And I think your way is the New England way. And the New England way only works in New England because Tom Brady was there. Ain't not now one of these quarterbacks in these free agent times sitting up there saying they'll take 15 to 16 million less to have a team go out there and win Super Bowls. I ain't see no Kyler Murray take no pay cut. I ain't see Deshaun Watson take a pay cut to go to a better situation. Denver ain't a better situation. Hey, right now I've been hearing people talk about Denver possibly could be picking in the top 15 again. People are liking what the Pittsburgh Steelers been doing. People are liking what the Bengals. Hey, the Bengals just went and got the left. They loved Orlando Brown. And then he just went out there to Cincinnati. Cincinnati lost a lot of good players. Jesse Bates, somebody that the Texans could have signed, that he went over there to Atlanta. You know what Atlanta paid him? A little under 16. You know that the 3 people that we signed that ain't gonna probably be on this roster come time when we do the 53-man. Oh, that same little bit of money, y'all could have used that to sign Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates would have allowed you. Oh, you want to talk about scheme? Y'all want to really get down and let's get dirty? Well, hell, come on, let's talk about it. Jesse Bates allows you to let Jalen Petrie roam the backfield. Jalen Petrie does not need to be sitting up here playing in the slot. That's why you got Trayvon Evans. Trayvon Evans is a better tackle. Trayvon Smith, the guy that plays slot corner. He's better fit to play in that position. You know why? Because Jalen Petrie is small. Jalen Petrie is not missing tackles just because he can't tackle. He's missing tackles because the running backs are bouncing off of him. He's not big enough yet. When Lovie Smith finally realized, stop pulling him down the bottom and let him just run like a madman, have him stay in the backfield and run like a madman, the man started making plays. The man had an interception on Deshaun Watson. The man had an interception on Trevor Lawrence where he disguised the hell out of the coverage. The man had an interception that should have been an interception. I can't even remember what game that was after we played the Browns. Jesse Bates allows you to do that. He allows you to have Jesse Bates come down and play in the box and be that extra man when you want to run cover 3, when you want to run a force, what they call a 4-6 defense. That allows you to do that. Instead of having to bring a linebacker out there, you have a safety that's big, strong, and physical and can go man up with the Travis Kelce's. You have a safety that can stop the tight ends one-on-one. You have a safety that can go from the box and also play cover 2 and play deep quarters. You have a smart safety that you could disguise coverages in roll 6 and roll 9 and roll 2 and roll 3 and do different things that DeMeco loves to do with the back end that he did with number I forgot the boy name, that the guy I can't think of his name from y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't really say his name. I think it's number 29. I don't have my computer. Hey, look, when I tell y'all this came off the top of the dome, because I'm so sick of Nick Caserio and these talking heads telling fans that we don't know what we talking about and we don't have to have no kind of discussion and we do not matter because we don't know what's going on. Neither do you. So to sit up here and say, oh, this is such a great free agent class, and these fans, when fans call in and say that they're upset that Nick Caserio is not out here going to get good talent, and these guys on the radio talking about, well, what you want them to do, go overspend on this person and go overspend. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about go pay for 1 or 2 good players that could be cornerstones. We don't want to pay a 37-year-old free safety. I mean, not a 37, a 32-year-old free safety that struggled mostly in his prime. We don't want to go pay a defensive tackle $10 million that been struggling and had one good year. We don't want to go pay a tight end that's a fullback slash tweener tight end that we have 3 of them on the roster already. We don't want to go pay a free safety that gets burnt every time that a receiver comes out on his side and he's sitting up there looking at the corner like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to cover this area. We don't want a guy in Eric Murray that never gets down and dirty and makes tackles. We don't want those types of players. We don't want the Brandon Cooks, the guys that don't want to be here. We don't want those types of guys. We want people that are Texans that want to be here. We want the Damian Pierces. We want the Darius Stingleys. We want the Jalen Petries. We want the Chris Harrises. We want the Jalen Hughes. We want the Nick Collisons. We want the Thomas Howards. That's the guys that we want here. We want guys that want to build and be a part of something great. They say, oh, it's nothing like winning a Super Bowl in L.A. It's nothing like winning a Super Bowl being the Giants. It's nothing like, hey, you want to know something? Be the first team to ever win a Super Bowl in Houston, Texas, and Houston, period. Be the quarterback. Be the defensive lineman. Be the corner that made the play for the Houston Texans to win the Super Bowl, and watch what happens. You think I'm lying? Ask Altuve. Go ask Lex Berkman. Go ask Jeff Bagwell. Go ask Craig Biggio. Go ask them guys what happened when you in a sports city, a city that's always gonna have your back, a city that's gonna love and support you to the end, a city that when you bring a championship here, we gonna show up and show out. Watch what happens when you get a team that really wants to be here, that supports this city, that's going to be a part of the city. Change these dark colors, these colors that don't matter. Change the uniform, because these uniforms don't matter. This is not who we are. We are a baby blue and red and white team. We have always been and we always will. We are a city that loves football. Yes, the state of Texas loves football. The state of Texas loves football. But let me tell you something. You win a championship here in Houston, Texas, I guarantee you gonna have 7 to 8 million people at a parade, and you think Kansas City parade was crazy? Ooh, boy, let me tell you. Houston, Texas, 6'10", 45, Beltway 8, it's going to be shut down because you're going to have to do the parade across the Beltway. You're going to have to get the parade to go around the Beltway because it's going to be too hard for people to get into the city. I'm telling you what I know. You think, why did it, let me ask y'all a question, Texas fans. Let's be real here. Why did it take over 25 years before the Houston Texans did not have a game that was sold out? You think that 26, 27 years, y'all think them last 2 years wouldn't be sold out if Bill O'Brien was fired when he was supposed to be after he blew that 24-point lead? We still had DeAndre Hopkins here. We still had Deshaun Watson here. We still had J.J. Watt here. Them last 3 years, we have been sitting here, and this is what's driving me crazy. This is what drives me bananas. We have teams like the Detroit Lions that ain't never sniffed an NFC championship game since Barry Sanders left. You know, when Barry Sanders played, I'm 35 years old. Barry Sanders ain't played half of my life. The Cowboys ain't been to a Super Bowl since the 90s. But everybody want to say, oh, it's been so long since the Texans did anything. That was just 3 years ago when we was on top of the world. We was the team, the team that everybody was chasing was us and the Kansas City Chiefs. We just beat Buffalo with Josh Allen with a golden boy. We just beat a team that had Justin Herbert. We was on the verge of being a team that everybody had to start preparing for and scheming for with a coach like Bill O'Brien. But yet and still, we still get thrown under the bus. And now you got the ESPN people sitting up here saying, hey, look, the Texans did good with the hire of DeMeco Ryans, but they still can't get players. Hey, since DeMeco Ryans got hired, ESPN ain't talking about us. Fox, Skip Bayless and them ain't talking about us. Ain't nobody talking about us no more because we a non-factor again. You know why we a non-factor? Because of Nick Caserio. Because Nick Caserio wants to sit there and go pay these potential players instead of going and getting guys that can actually play. Why are we so scared of going and get some dogs? Oh, I know why. Because you don't want them to bark back. You want them to stay quiet. You want them to stay little puppies and stay in their kennel. You don't want them running around outside in the grass barking and protecting the house. You don't want that. Because you know if they start barking and protecting the house, now you got to answer questions. Let's be real here. I'm not talking about no racism and all that crap that people want to keep bringing up. The Texans, from a business perspective, the Texans is one of the most diverse businesses in the NFL. They have men, they have black men, black women, they have Mexican women, Mexican men, Latinos, whatever you want to call it. You got white women, white men, you got Asians, you got the guys from Pakistan, you got all these people, all these different cultures and different people in the Texans organization that do different things. Half of these organizations still got a whole bunch of other people that is not my color in their organization. And it's just white men. Some teams still ain't had a white woman a part of anything, and they as a top media. Our top media person was a white lady that had been there for a long time, and guess why she got the boot? Because she started barking. You know why she started barking? Because she a dog, and when dogs get to barking, you know the little puppies, the little masters, they gotta come in and they gotta start. Hey, no, you can't. We can't have you. We can't have you in here to Jack Easterbees. We can't have you sitting there barking against my authority, Bill O'Brien. And so now we steady repaying for their sins that they committed 3-4 years ago by everybody else. And now we still got Nick Caserio over here, still up here running here, saying these comparisons about used cars and Silicon Valley and the hamburger places and this, that, and the third. Nobody, it's like whatever. But we can't question him, his acumen on his coaching choices and the coaches that he picked these last few years. We can't talk about how he tried to control everything. We can't talk about these draft picks that he's had because, man, as much as I liked the draft class this past year, as much as I like Jalen Petrie and I like Stingley, as much as I like them guys, as much as I like the Nico Collins draft pick at the time, you know who you passed on? You know the guy that got drafted right after Nico? Right now, he making a name for himself. Amar St. Brown, Detroit Lions receiver. If Texas fans don't know, go look at him. Go check him out. You know who you've been passing on? You know the type of players that you've been letting slide by? So you mean to tell me, hey, when you found out the Rams was trying to trade Jalen Ramsey, you mean you ain't have the gall, the testicular fortitude, the ruthless aggression to go and call the Rams and be like, hey, what do y'all want for Jalen Ramsey? I'll bump if Jalen Ramsey want to come here or not. Bump that. He under contract. He ain't got no trade calls. Call them and say, hey, what do you want for Jalen Ramsey? Oh, you want a third-round pick? A third-round pick? A third-round pick? A third-round pick. Oh, you don't want to do the third-round pick for a corner that could change the way your defense being played, because now you got Stingley and Jalen Ramsey, two lockdown guys, and you could got him. What you gonna pick in the third round that's gonna add up to what Jalen Ramsey can produce for you, at least for the next 3 years? Huh? What you gonna pick? Because the last third round pick that you made, the last third round pick that you made was Davis Mills. Davis Mills. He was a third round pick. So you gonna tell me we're gonna get another Davis Mills? An inept quarterback? An inept player? That's what we supposed to be looking forward to? Huh? That's what we supposed to be looking forward to, right? Oh, I wish I had my computer so I could bring it up so I can remember exactly who we picked in the third round last year. Because you passed up, as much as everybody love Dameon Pierce. Guess what? You passed up on two other running backs. Yeah, Dameon Pierce has shown to be the best. To me, he's the best out of the group. But Bryce Hall sure looked like a dog. You traded back. You traded back in the first round when you had Kyle Hamilton sitting right there. You traded back when you had Jordan Davis sitting right there. You traded back when you had Chris Lindenbaum sitting right there. You traded back and you lost all three of those players. Did. So, and you went and got Kenyon Green. A guard that's sitting up there struggling. You know why he's struggling? Because you have yet to put the effort in getting a center. A center is the top priority for any organization, for any offensive lineman, any offensive line that has that's worth a penny. An offensive line goes as they center go. The best offensive line has always had one of the best centers in the game. Every single one of them. Starting from the 90s Dallas Cowboys all the way down to where we're talking about the 70s Dallas Cowboys offensive line, to the Buffalo Bill offensive line when they had Jim Kelly, to the 49ers offensive line when they had Joe Montana, to the offensive line that the Oakland Raiders had back in the days when they had Uncle Cliff. Back in the days when these boys was out there in Minnesota These boys always had a dominant center, a center that was very smart and agile and that could move. And guess what? You still have yet to do anything. So what we supposed to do? Oh, we supposed to hope that you gonna draft a center in the second round? The one guy that I agree with the most is Cody Stoops and Jack Kellner, the boys on ESPN and ESPN 97.5 FM. Them boys, they have constantly been saying from day one that you need to get a veteran center to help this young guard. You haven't done it. You haven't done it. And it's ridiculous. So now this young brother is supposed to continue to struggle because, and oh, by the way, you're planning on trading Laremy Tunsil, the guy that on the other side of him that's supposed to be helping him. So now we're supposed to put a rookie left tackle, a rookie center with 2 first-round picks. We're supposed to get all a top-flight center, a top-flight left tackle, and a quarterback, all with 2 first-round picks. Not to mention, you still need a safety. Not to mention, you still need a linebacker. Not to mention, you still need another running back. Not to mention, you still need a receiver that could be a number 1. Not to mention, you still need a tight end. And to me, you need 2 linebackers. Brian Cashman is a full-time special teamer. He don't need to be touching the field at all as far as defense go. Garrett Wallow, another player that Nick Caserio drafted that's undersized, does not fit this scheme and does not deserve to be sitting on no 53-man roster. Look, you put him on a team that like a Seattle where they use those types of linebackers, he might become something. But here, he's not going to work here. It's over with. MJ Stewart is a top flight special teamer. You keep him here, yes, you should keep him here. But guess what? You should go get a doggone safety that can sit up there and actually play. It's starting to get ridiculous, Nick. And we, our Texans, are getting tired of it, Nick. And I'm here to put you on warning, Nick. It's time for you to go, Nick Caserio. It's time for Nick Caserio. I was on that train. I wish I would have been doing this back when we started firing these coaches. Because let me tell you, I was on that train of, hey, Nick gotta go. Nick gotta go. I was one of those people that was saying Nick gotta go. And listen, fans, listen here. Texas Underground Bullpen. Listen, I'm not sitting up here talking about let's go spend millions and millions of money on people. I understand. I wouldn't have paid Tremaine Edmonds the highest paid linebacker in NFL history. He's not that good. He's not Ray Lewis good to be paying him that kind of money. So I get it. I get not paying him. I understand if you called him and you talked to him and the Bears offered that money, I get you pulling back. I get you not going after Hargraves and he went over to the 49ers for that kind of money. I get it. I understand. I wouldn't have paid that money either. But you know who I would have paid? A safety that could help the back end that's making $16 million, that's not making the top flight safety, is making somewhere in the top flight safety money, but he not getting paid no 30, 20, 25, close to 30 million a year. I would have went and got a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, one of the best tackling safeties, one of the best locker room guys, one of the guys that could change a culture. I would have went and got him because Chauncey Gardner could plays very well in special teams. He plays very well in special teams. One of the best tackling and safeties. A leader, a dog. Robert Woods, I don't mind the Robert Woods. Like I said, this whole time I don't mind some of the things I don't mind. But it's the collection of 3 to 4 players that you paid that could have added up to you paying for one person. You could have went out there. These centers that stayed, the center that stayed in San Francisco, they paid him under $5 million a year for 3 years. I believe it's a 3-year contract. You had the money to where you could have possibly purged him out of San Francisco. You could have gave this man, hey, look, they offer you 5. Look here, we gonna give you a 3-year deal. We gonna pay you close to $9 million a year. 8.5 plus incentives gets you the 9.3 for the next 3 years. You don't think that man would have considered coming here? With DeMeco being here and Slower being here, and one of the best offensive line coaches that's in the league, well respected offensive line coaches that sat up there and built that coach offensive line that they had up there these past few years. You don't think that somebody like that would have wanted to come down here for that kind of money? Now I get it. You know, not everybody's gonna be out for the money. If he one of the guys that wasn't out for the money, well then you had 3 other choices. You had choices at the center position that you could have brought somebody in here that's better than what we have. But you didn't even, from what I hear, you didn't even try. We heard that we know that the Ravens right now, the Ravens need to free up some cap money. Hey, why don't you try for go out there and call for Patrick Queen and see what they do? Give up that 3rd round pick. Give it up. Because you're not gonna find a Patrick Queen in the draft. This linebacker, from me looking at this linebacker class, these linebackers, the best ones, are gonna be gone by the time you ready to try to draft a linebacker. Trenton Smith, Thornton Smith, I think that's his name, Trenton Smith. He's the best linebacker in this class. Drew Sanders, people started jumping on him way too early. I got caught up watching highlights instead of watching game tape. I went back and watched the LSU-Arkansas game, and I watched Drew Sanders get mauled. You know why? Because he's too small to be playing Mike linebacker. He's a wheel linebacker. We don't need another wheel. We have a wheel. Unless you plan on moving Christian Harris to the middle linebacker. It don't seem that way since you gave Kersey, you restructured his deal. Don't seem that way. Now, you're talking about a guy that people really sleeping on, and Arby Miller that's down there at Jackson State. That's a dog, but he's somebody that's gonna bark back, Nick. I promise you, Nick. Sir, Arby Miller is such a Philadelphia 49er type of what you call it over there, LA. He belongs in one of those teams. So but that's who Tampa Bay. He probably gonna go to one of them teams like that in the late rounds, and everybody gonna be sitting here like, dang, why we ain't think about him? Well, you know why? Because you think he came from Jackson State, so you're not gonna really bother with him too much. That's why. You got a guy like J.L. Skinner, 6'4", 233 pounds. His favorite player was Cam Chancellor. He lived in the same area that Cam Chancellor grew up in. He watched Cam Chancellor every chance he got run somewhere close to the 4.4, 4.5 range. Very intelligent young man. Graduated the first 3 years at Boise State. Played in multiple systems out there in Boise State. He said it his own words. He said when he went into the draft meetings, people was amazed on his football acumen, his football knowledge, understanding how to roll coverages and understanding route concepts and understanding route trees. The man is a bona fide, should be talked about in the first 2 round safeties. You know what? I guarantee the Texans ain't gonna go get him. Another guy that can play in the box and outside. The Texans ain't gonna go get him. A Nathan Dale, Tank Dale, a speedster, a guy that you can quickly put the ball in his hand and screens and go make plays. Nick Caserio ain't gonna go get him. You know why? He gonna make up some excuse about, oh, he might be too small. You know, Nick Caserio gonna sit up there in his little vest and he gonna sit up there and say, well, you know, we have the evaluation process, and during the evaluation process, you know, we have the scouts. Scouts do the evaluation, then they come to me, and then I come to D'Amico, and we talk to Bobby Slowick, and we talk to the defensive coordinator and the defensive guys, and then they tell us what they think, and then I come down and I make the final decision along with D'Amico. That's the same speech you've been telling us the past 3 years for every coach that you've been hired. Dude, we tired of hearing it. We don't want to hear it no more. You're starting to sound like Bill O'Brien. I want tough, fast, smart, dependable guys. We don't want to hear it. We want you to come out and don't say nothing. If you're not gonna tell us anything, don't say nothing. Just don't say nothing. Just stop talking. Because you talking is causing more issues because people don't want to come here. Because they still feel that the same stuff with the Jack Easterby and the stuff that you had going on back then is still going on. Because you're still talking the same way and you're still presenting yourself the exact same way, paying these people 2-year deals and 1-year deals. Now, you paid Sheldon Rankins 1 year, $10 million. Sheldon Rankins come out here and balls with Nico Collins because he if he had anything similar to what he had with the Jets, and he brings that down here with no players like Sheldon Richardson and what's the other guy that played linebacker from Quan Alexander was up there. I can't think of the brother name. I'm sorry for cussing, but I'm so passionate about this and I'm so upset, y'all. I'm just done. I'm so done with this. I'm tired, man. And I know y'all tired. I'm tired. I've been ever since Andre Johnson got snubbed from being on this poster, on this Hall of Fame poster in 2022, all the way to 20. I understand. Look, Terrell Owens didn't go first ballot. So I understand Andre not going first ballot. But 2023, he should have been on the poster in 2023. He should have his gold jacket. But you know what? I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen. J.J. Watt going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame before Andre. And I better hear uproar. Hey, I love J.J. I feel J.J. is a special player. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Ring of Honor this year. But let me tell you something. Andre Johnson stuck around when this team was way worse than when J.J. Watt came here. And you never heard a peep. You never heard the man quit on the team. You never heard the man stop playing during a play. You never seen the man go out there and not block. You never see the man not go out there and run his routes. You never seen the man missing practice. You never seen the man out there in Harm Clark, in the hood, in the ghetto, running around with people that he ain't supposed to be. You never seen this dude doing anything to disrespect this organization, disrespect his family name. This man went to Toys R Us and bought millions of dollars, millions of money, millions of toys and spent millions of dollars on these kids out here in the city. Not at just one Toys R Us, not at just two Toys R Us, not at just three Toys R Us. We're talking about multiple Toys R Us across Houston. He started foundations that the city that desperately needed. He invested money in YMCA's. This man is a part of this city, and we have not set up here. You don't see number 80 posted up on no building. You don't have nobody from that from the mayor's office sitting up here talking about why this man ain't going into the Hall of Fame. But I guarantee you, if it's a Dallas Cowboy like that, the Cowboys are gonna do everything in their power to let the world know that dude was supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. I guarantee you, if a San Francisco 49er that is that's up to Andre Johnson's level, that should have been put in the Hall of Fame, and he wasn't put in the Hall of Fame, I guarantee you those fans gonna make sure people hear about it. I guarantee you, if the New York Giants, when it's time for Eli Manning to come in and get into that Hall of Fame, if he don't get into that Hall of Fame, people are gonna uproar. You know why? Because Tony Boselli, Tony Boselli. Let's say that again. Tony Boselli got inducted into the Hall of Fame. When is enough? We gotta support the team. You know why? Because we didn't support the Oilers and they left us. So now we having postpartum. We feel like, dang, we don't support them. If we don't support them, they're gonna up and leave. Bob McNair is gone. Cal McNair, he don't have no ties to this city like Bob did. Cal wasn't even born here. He don't have no ties to the city. The best thing Cal has done so far to me is the fact that he's officially trying to get the colors switched over, and he's trying to get us some new uniforms, and they rebranding a lot of the stuff.